I usually try to start off these videos with like a little witty thing to say, but I have legitimately no idea how to introduce what I'm about to talk about because it is probably the most just 17 layers of internet knowledge you need to have to understand anything that's going on right here in any capacity. And I'm talking about a very interesting tribute to a very hated fellow on the internet. And I'm gonna like lay down the gauntlet before I even talk about this. Is that I've got nothing on furries, so this video is not me talking about me hating on furries. The story that I'm about to tell you does involve a furry, and it's just absolutely insane. But the picture that I'm about to show you, if you don't already know what I'm about to show you, because this has been the talk of the town online for the past like day or so, it's a Charlie Kirk furry tribute picture that someone made, where they said, the most complex piece I've done to date. 19 hours and 40 plus layers of work for an anonymous client on Discord dedicated to Charlie. Now, obviously, you're probably like me when I first saw this image, where I assumed that this was ironic. You know, it was a furry tribute to Charlie Kirk that took this long and just is in this much detail. It would be probably one of the greatest shitposts that we've ever seen in our entire life. And you, just like me, are about to find out that this is not ironic really in any capacity, and it is just an entire debacle of just what the fuckery is going on here. And anything more that I learn about this is just even crazier and even funnier, honestly, to me. And so I'm about to show you like a good amount of tweets, I guess, of like people who've seen it who are like me, who are not furries and not part of the furry community, but just happened to see this and said, "What the fuck is going on?" And also, like, I would assume some people are at least associated with the furry community because obviously they would have seen this. But me literally liking one tweet, commenting about this, put me into every single possible detail of like what's going on here. And so I'm going to share you with what I've seen about this and just what people are saying about this Charlie Kirk furry tribute picture. So the first thing I saw was someone saying 19 hours just for it to look like shit. And I'm no artist, you know, I really can't draw for anything. I can't draw at all. I draw stick people. That's basically the extent of my drawing knowledge. And the reason why I saw this, and when I learned that this wasn't ironic, I assumed that the reason why this took so long is due to the detail in the background of just all those wide variety of personas going on. You know, a different animal for every single persona. It doesn't look like there's any repeats over there. Maybe this is why it took so long. I have legitimately no idea, but some people who I guess maybe have more idea about drawing can tell that this was not a worthwhile use of 19 hours. And this is a very interesting interaction that I saw, and I need to talk about this because it just added a whole nother layer of irony and just hilarity to this entire situation. In the comments of this post, someone saw that they had like, I guess these, I know now that these like little things right here are 21 Pilot fan symbols, where they said, "Rip Charlie, his legacy will live on. Beautiful drawing. Also, maybe conservative 21 Pilot fan. You're just like me. I'm indeed a Christian conservative 21 Pilot fan. They're my favorite band of all time." I don't really know. I mean, I also kind of know about 21 Pilots, but I'd assume that a lot of their fans, you know, aren't conservative. So this person is probably one of the most polar bears in Arlington, Texas. Literally, probably the polar bear in Arlington, Texas, when it comes to the internet communities that they exist on. Because like being a conservative furry and being a conservative 21 Pilot fan is probably one of the most hilarious, like just interesting places for you to be. And especially when like Charlie Kirk and conservatives probably want, if I had to give a generous guess, 80% of the furry population to stop existing. And if I gave a less generous guess, 100% of the furry population to stop existing. So it is a very interesting overlap of just being a conservative and also being a furry. And I guess less so than a 21 Pilot fan, but like being a furry specifically being a conservative, it's like one of the most just confusing things ever. Now, I've talked a lot about VTubers being like conservative is like a really weird thing for them to do. I think the only more weird place for a conservative to be is in the furry community because they're even gayer and also more just like self-expressive and like willing for people to be themselves in the furry community. And this person right here kind of had the same exact reaction that I did when I realized that this wasn't ironic, saying, "I just realized this isn't meant to be ironic. Oh, this is such a gem. I'm in tears." Most shocking thing of all time that the Charlie Kirk tribute, Toilet Paper USA at a college campus with all the furries cheering him on is not an ironic piece. And it's absolutely shocking. You know, just knowing the furry community as someone who is #woke, I have to know about what goes on in the one of the more woke spaces I would say on the internet. It's just once again hilarious that someone possibly could be a furry and also draw Charlie Kirk. And I'm gonna hit this point many times because I think it's hilarious that once again, and I've said this for probably like about the 10th time in this video, a furry drew Charlie Kirk in a tribute way that is not ironic in any capacity. And then like this tweet, I'm assuming is from a 21 Pilot fan, but they also had a really funny take on the situation. Also, I'm assuming very accurate, saying, "Imagine making furry out of a conservative, so the conservatives are hating on you because they hate furries, and the furries are hating you because they hate conservatives. but they both come together to clown on you for the 21 Pilots logo in your bio. Absolutely ridiculous, and they are talking about this because, once again, they posted it right here. And that is another objectively true thing is that, like, what the fuck is going on? You literally just, like, double suicide bombed, even triple suicide bomb, because once again, the 21 Pilots thing, where you just, like, threw out every single part of your identity, and every single part of your identity is fucking hating on you because, once again, you are contradictory to everything you exist in. And then we have, like, these pictures right here that are kind of flying around. I mean, this is all you need to see about this. We have someone who said they're starting a collection where this is just something I wanted to show, and I think it's really funny because there's, like, these political arts of, like, furries that I can't really tell if they're made in any sort of ironicness or any sort of sincerity. But you got, like, Charlie Kirk tiger, Donald Trump lion, never forget 9/11, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand being assassinated by a dude who is being guided by a furry angel with a yin yang logo on the wing. We love artists, don't we, in today's society? We love them so much, and we are glad that they're able to self-express themselves in the way that they have chosen to do so, especially in the furry community when you get some images that exist here. But this, I think, is the number one most important thing, and quite possibly the funniest thing humanly possible to come out of this. Whether or not it's actually true or not, I'm going to assume it's true because this adds a whole nother level of hilarity to the entire situation where I guess at one point I did see this community note, but they got rid of it where at some point Charlie Kirk confirmed that his persona was a beaver and they linked the video, which is now I guess I can't find anymore because they deleted the community note. And so even then they're LARPing, I guess, Charlie Kirk because they don't even know that the guy they're trying to honor here who has stated that his own persona would be a beaver. And I think it's the quite possibly the just most cherry on top situation of this, where not only did a Christian conservative 21 Pilot furry make a tribute to Charlie Kirk, they didn't even get the persona right. How the fuck did this even get crazier? What is going on here? This is why we play. This is hashtag why we play. Twitter is probably the most right-wing Nazi place of all time, but this is why we play. We need to see this. We love this. And I will go through the gaseous chambers of fucking hell to see this happen if I get to see this happen once a month. Or even once a year. This is why we play. And then obviously, like, once again, the final thing is, like, they created a million Charlie Kirks when, when Charlie Kirk died, they said this. And we have Tiger Charlie Kirk here as one of the million Charlie Kirks. And hashtag we are Charlie Kirk. And I need to reiterate this for anyone who made it this far in the video. No hate the furries. They're cool. I think it's fun that the people are willing to, like, express themselves in that way. And also, I think it's kind of confident that they're able to be that loud and proud about who they are. And it's more just hate specifically on conservative furries because I don't understand how that belief system that you have and then also the communities you decide to associate yourself with just happen to overlap. It doesn't make any sense to me because, once again, conservatives want the vast majority of your community, the furry community, to just not exist because, it's primarily a gay or queer place for people to express themselves, and, like, it's a place for people who have been historically otherized in their lives to then take advantage of that otherization and, like, fully express themselves as who they truly want to be in their life. The fact that this picture exists just shows that irony is not dead and that we have an infinite amount of thoughts in an infinite amount of ways, and the internet has allowed for these infinite amount of thoughts and infinite amount of ways to be shown to the public square, to be commented on in ways that we have never thought before. That's really all I wanted to talk about today. I'm glad that if anyone randomly stumbled upon this video, they get to see furry Charlie Kirk and know that it exists, and also that it was a LARPed picture of Charlie Kirk, because once again, we've learned that he's a beaver. I guess from some sort of confirmation from Charlie Kirk's mouth himself. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.